SMT Nation, we back. In today's video, we're speed testing the T-Mobile network. Recent upgrade near the parental unit's home, and we're hanging out, and I just decided to speed test it and see how it performs. And with the art of fast forwarding, I can get the information to you guys pretty quickly. All right, now the tower site's just about a mile away, so it's not too far. 172 down, 0.82 megs on the up. What do we got? A ping time in the 30s. So, and the jitter is not bad. It's like 6 milliseconds. I'd say the connection is stable. The downlink is okay, I guess. The uplink is kind of like where things are pretty weak. In this particular testing, even when I do the second test, you'll see ping times still in the 30s. Again, I'm perfectly satisfied with that. That's fine. The downlink coming in at 176 megabits per second. But the uplink continues to disappoint, coming in at just under 0.7 megabits per second on the uplink. It's just not very good. It feels like I'm on edge cell for the N41 connection 5G UC. Let's go ahead and do the video resolution test here on Ookla, and you'll see that it does give me 2160p, no buffering. The issue here in this particular testing, not really the downlink capacity, but the throughput on the uplink side, the trouble. Let's go ahead and give it the fast.com testing. This is through Netflix servers. This essentially allows you to see what type of throughput you have towards your video resolution playback specifically. All right, so we got 100 megabits per second on the downlink. It shows like 15 megabits on the uplink. I don't know if the connection changed, but that's very different than the Ookla speed test, so I want to go ahead and just test it again in case something happened, maybe a different band running the uplink side of things, possibly. And in that instance, I would welcome it because the N41 uplink was really bad. So we're coming in at 5.7 megabits per second for uplink, 150 megabits for the downlink. Both of those, I guess, serviceable. I don't really have much of an issue with them, with the exception that there's a lot of bandwidth in this connection. So that's kind of disappointing to see the performance so slow. Anyways, moving on to the NPerf testing. This is all on 5G UC. We're going to test the browsing, the video playback, the speed testing. This app is pretty cool because it does like everything into one comprehensive test. Video playback, browsing, speed testing, the whole shebang. Different resolutions. And then it rates them and it gives them like a score, a total score, and then percentages. So 191 down, 0.96 on the up, latency 67, 78,000 NPerf points with a browsing score of 74. And then we have a streaming score of about 91%. So that's pretty good. I don't really see too much wrong with that, with the exception of the percentage for the browsing not being great. But that zoom test is just really rough. Moving on, we've gone ahead and switched into LTE mode. Let's see how it performs. We got about 86 megabits down, and we got about 3.6 megabits up. Ping time and everything jitters about the same as the 5G side. So kind of interesting to see. We got like half the downlink, but we've got like 2 or 3 times higher uplink just by switching over to LTE. We're probably connected to PCS in this instance. I didn't really care to check all that much, but it makes sense to be on band 2 just because the frequency is a little bit lower than the 2.5 gigahertz that's on the 5G UC. We got 2160p, the 4K for the video test, the video playback on Ookla. Now let's go ahead and do the fast.com. Looks like we got about 75 megabits per second on the downlink. That's plenty good. Here's, the NPerf on the LTE side. Let's go ahead and run it. It'll do a browsing test. It'll do a speed test. It'll do the video playback. Put it all together, and we'll get you guys a raw score. And then we'll look at the browsing and the streaming averages, the percentage score that it gives. And then we can kind of compare it to the NR, the 5G UC. All right, we got a total score of about 74,000. That's a little bit lower than the 5G side. 64 down, 3.9 up. So like you might want to do LTE in a situation like this because your uplink is better. it might not hold like a FaceTime call or something like that, or a video call. Browsing score 81%, streaming score 87%. So those evaluations, the browsing and the streaming, actually better on LTE in some respects. So you're not going to get the peak throughput, but you're going to get a better quality connection. What do you guys think of this? Seen similar to this? You've had issues that are like this? comment down below what you guys thought of this testing and give me your experiences, because I see this quite a bit due to T-Mobile's lack of density, not doing small cells and not tightening up their tower grid. But, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say on this, and tell me about your market, if it's similar or different. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload. Links in the description for my Twitter, my Gmail, and my Patreon page. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.